Welcome back to the Phightins Final here on the Edge of Philly Sports Network with your boy Matty B, coming at you on this Wednesday afternoon to report. At least we're not coming home 0-6, folks. All right, I guess that's the good news, right? Phillies lost today 4-2 up in New York to the Yankees to finish a dreadful 1-5 on an opening week road trip of the season. It was actually a really good game. It was a very good game. Pitchers duel for the most part of the game. Garrett Cole pitching against Aaron Nola, who pitched well today. He pitched really well. Was let down a little bit by his offense, and then of course later on by the Phillies bullpen as they fall today 4-2, and now return home tomorrow to a one as a 1-5 as a 1-5 baseball team, and they'll be back to uh trying to figure out themselves now against the Cincinnati Reds, as this obviously has not worked out the way everybody kind of thought it was going to work out for the opening week of the season. But at least it's not 0-6, and tomorrow they'll raise the flag and get their rings as a 1-5 ball club. I don't know how that vibe is going to be down there at the bank, but it's the home opener. That's all good, and that's all good in itself. But let's get to this game because there's some things to talk about a little bit here. For the Phillies, scoring wise, not much. As I mentioned, a pitcher's duel from the outset. Garrett Cole was dealing today for the Yankees. He actually he pitched better than Nola did, and not to say that it was not. It was a very good, highly contested pitchers battle. The scoring very first, the first inning, Torres would knock in Judge and make it 1-0 Yankees. But then Nola settled down and did not give up another run to the sixth when DJ LeMahieu makes it 2-0. Jake Cave gets the Phillies back a little bit in the top of the seventh, but when you're in a situation where the Phillies were in the top of the seventh, they had bases loaded with one out. They were able to chase the starter, and they end up getting just one run out of that situation. It's really indicative of how this team has been struggling this year. Bases loaded and one out, and you come away with just one run in a very critical situation in a game. You got to do better there. You got to do better. But Cave did get the sac fly to make it 2-1. And then Greg Soto comes in the bottom of the seventh inning and promptly gives up a 2-run shot to Trevino to make it 4-1. Kyle Schwarber would get the Phillies back up within two in the eighth with a home run. But Greg Soto comes up short yet again for the Phillies. This guy's been kind of all over the place since he's been here. He's had three appearances so far this year. Two of them were dreadful, and then one was decent. But today is definitely a dreadful appearance. 4-2 Phillies loss. That's your scoring. Let's go over a little bit of the highlights offensively for the Phillies. When you only hit when you only get 5 hits, there's really not many highlights to talk about. Trey Turner 1-for-4. Kyle Schwarber, I guess the offensive MVP of the day, 1-for-4 with a home run. And then JT Realmuto, not liking what I'm seeing out of JT early on in the season. 0-for-4 today with 3 strikeouts. And also Nick Castellanos, who we've talked about this in nauseum. He was 0-for-3 today. Well, he did score a run. He had a walk, but he also had 3 strikeouts. Just, again, another offensive anemic day for the Phillies in a lineup that once again featured Christian Pache in center field. What the hell is this guy doing in the lineup? I really don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all. This guy should not be in the lineup, and we're going to get into some of that here in a second. For the Yankees, DJ LeMahieu with the home run, kind of their offensive hero. Trevino did have 2 RBIs on the day. He was 1-for-3 as well. And that's your offensive kind of highlights on the pitching side. Aaron Nola, again, 6 innings. You got to be very happy about that. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. He had 1 walk and he struck out 5. Much better than his opening day start. Greg Soto, 1 inning pitched, a hit, a run. It was earned. He had 2 walks in that inning, struck out 3, and he gave up the home run. Just not good. Just not good. Sir Anthony with an inning pitched and gave up a hit. For the Yankees, Garrett Cole gets the 6 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 3 walks, and he struck out 8. Losica and Holmes would pitch for the Yankees. Holmes gets the save. Cole the win, 2-0. Nola the loss, 0-1. And that's how you have 4-2 Yankees. And now the Phillies set their sights on coming home to face the Cincinnati Reds. Listen, while you're at it here, don't forget to travel like the pros on Philly sports trips. The next trip coming up, you got the draft, you got the Union trip out to the Union and Phillies trip out to Denver, and the London trip coming up at the end of the month of May. Make sure you check out Phillies sports trips and all they have to offer. Workman's comp, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, or criminal law. Dave Cherry, 610-565-0300 is the man you got to call. Tell him the Phightins Phinal and Edge of Philly Sports sent you, and he'll take great care of you. And if you're looking for those great sports concerts and theater tickets with no hidden fees and great prices, look no further than Sherry's Tickets Town at www.sherrystickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Save an additional 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. And if you're looking for a place to go watch these Phillies games, even in the bad times, you got to go to this place, Dolan's Bar down there in the heart of Delco in Ridley Park. Quizzo music, great times, memorabilia giveaways, and you never know who might walk through the front door. Give Dolan's a shot, and you will not be disappointed. All right. So 4-2. Let's look quickly around the Major League Baseball right now. Some of the games that are in progress. The Mets are in Milwaukee, 6-6 right now, top of the ninth. In the bottom of the eighth in Texas, 5-2. Rangers over the Orioles. I said Oilers. At the end of 7, down in Houston, it's 6-1. Astros over Tigers. Out in Chicago in the north side, I believe, it is 4-1. White Sox against the Giants. In Oakland, it is 0-0. They're underway in the third against the Guardians. Top of the first, just underway out in Seattle. 0-0 between the Mariners and the Angels. Tonight, you got KC and Toronto and KC, Tampa, and then you got that have come final already today. Tampa beat the Nationals 7-2. Marlins over the Twins 5-2. Braves over the Cardinals 5-2, and the Pirates over the Red Sox 4-1. The Cubs and Reds were rained out today due to weather. So there you have your look around Major League Baseball of what's going on today. And guys, 1-5. We talked about this kind of, kind of being a damper of things, right? We talked about this. I was really surprised. I thought they were going to come home 0-6, to be honest with you. And I'm surprised that they're 1-5. I am. They're not playing good baseball. There's been some signs of them pulling themselves out of it, but it's not been a good start. By no stretch of the word has it been a good start. I'm going to throw out a few stats for you. Again, 6 games into the season, granted, but some very, very interesting stat lines. Let's go with the runs. The Phillies are being outscored 42-18. And that averages out to Phillies scoring 3 runs a game and their opponents scoring 7 runs a game. Phillies have left 43 runners on base so far this year, 7 runners a game. And then in runners in scoring position, they're batting 222, 222, 11 for 50 with runners in scoring position. The hits are literally even with their opponents, 56. The walks. Phillies pitchers have issued out 26 walks to 11 against. The Phillies have only worked 11. They're averaging 4.3 issuing 4.3 walks a game. The strikeouts, the Phillies are striking out. This is the Phillies. They're striking out 9.8 times a game. They're striking out close to 10 times a game, average 59 on the season, and then they're striking their opponents out 8 times a game. So I mean, it's a 2-1 here. I don't get that. Home runs. Phillies have hit 4 home runs so far this year. 4, and they've allowed 10. They've allowed a home run, at least 1 home run in every single game they've played this year. The Phillies pitching has just really very, very lackluster stats, and honestly, it's just not it's not working. And pitching is probably the biggest concern I have. I know the offense will come around eventually, but the pitching has not been there, and it's not been there consistently at all. Dave Yarnold chimes in with, "Hey, Matty B, the bullpen is not promising." Wow, no, it's not. It's not so promising. Right now, it's not. And I addressed this on my show last night. When you take Matt Strom and Bailey Falter out of that bullpen because you have to and press them into starting roles, maybe that's obviously not the way you should have went. The bullpen is a little barren right now, and they're being overworked here early on in the season, and it's just not looking well. So I agree with you, Dave, but they didn't do enough in the offseason with pitching. Again, I mentioned that. I thought they should have went out and signed at least 2 veteran arms to go along with Walker and to try to help out that rotation. It was, to me, fool's gold to think that Andrew Painter, was going to be the savior at the bottom end of the rotation, and then not going out to try to kind of backfill him or backfill that plan if it doesn't work out by signing a couple of veteran arms. I just didn't think it was a wise move not to do, and they didn't. And now they're kind of reaping the benefit of that because the pitching has been not consistent. Better starting pitching lately. I'll give them that. But the bullpen has sunk back into its 2020 or first half of 2022, 2021, and 2020 and 19 and 18 ways. It's just not been good. Phillies Friday at Friday at 3:05. Brianna chimes in with yes, that is what the home opener will be. Interesting what the vibe is going to be down there. I know there's some weather in the area. Tomorrow's Yankee Oriole game has been canceled in Baltimore, but yet the Phillies game is not going to be canceled. I'm not certain why the weather patterns in Baltimore are so different than the weather patterns, like what 25 miles to the north in Philadelphia. But right now, it's a go. I hope it's a go. I hope it continues to be a go as the Phillies are trying to get their home opener out of the way and get them damn rings distributed out and that flag up so we can kind of put that to bed and move forward. But tomorrow, 3:05 right now, Phillies and Orioles, Phillies and Reds, God, the Phillies and Reds at Citizen Bank Park, the 2023 home opener. And if you're wondering who might be the pitching matchup tomorrow, well, I'll tell you, Zach Wheeler is going to go for the Phightins, and then Hunter Green will go for the 3-2 Cincinnati Reds. So Cincinnati Reds come into this game 2 games better than the Phillies as they start their 2023. As the Phillies will go in at 1-5, the Reds go in at 3-2. And if you're also wondering of some context of history, well, last year at this point, 6 games through, the Phillies were 3-3. So 1-5, 3-3. You're off the pace by 2 games. I guess a game and a half, whatever. I can live with that. I'm not really that down on that. It's just that the way the Phillies have gotten to 1-5 has not been very, very good. It's been very disheartening. It's been very painful, and it's been very surprising. And I guess pitching is probably the number one cause. But what's been going on with Rob Thompson? Everything last year the man touched turned to gold. Everything this year he's touched has not worked. Every decision he's pretty much made this year hasn't worked. To include today's decision to put Greg Soto in, didn't work. Once again, to back Christian Pache, to put him in any semblance of a Phillies lineup, to even have him on the team at this point is criminal, but it didn't work. Everything Rob Thompson has touched this year, it's just not worked. And everything he touched last year did. Is this the law of averages balancing out? Or is this Rob Thompson figuring himself out as well? This is the guy that's billed to be the great preparer, right? Man, for years, he was the guy that would show up first at the ballpark, make sure everything was right, make sure everything was taken care of, and then everybody would be, all the stuff would fall in from there. And then as a manager, having that background, I guess, is extremely important. So because you always are going over your mental checklists, but now it doesn't seem like he's doing that. It seems like whatever checklist he's going over in his mind is just not working out because every decision he has made up to this point has not worked for the Phillies. Really hasn't. So that's something to keep an eye on. And no, I'm not giving the Rob Thompson, let's keep an eye on when we're going to fire him. But I'm just saying it just hasn't worked out so far for the Phillies and Rob Thompson thus far in 2023. As today, as virtue of a 4-2 loss to the New York Yankees, they fall now to 1-5 on the season and now are looking forward to their home opener tomorrow, 3:05, weather permitting, down there at Citizen Bank Park against the Cincinnati Reds. Folks, until then, and we got you covered for that. Don't worry. We'll be back tomorrow. Rain or shine, if the game happens, we'll be back tomorrow night. It'll be me, and I'll be breaking this thing down. Hopefully, we'll have some live reaction from the yard as a couple of the EOP stalwarts will be in attendance of that game. And looking forward to getting this thing turned around at home. Got the Reds and Marlins coming up, right? We got an opportunity now to get this thing right, get this thing flopped into the right direction. Until we talk tomorrow, folks, you guys have yourself a great night. And as I said, we'll speak to you tomorrow after the home opener. See ya.